Hey everybody, Rich Fournier here for the Peak Results Academy podcast. In this episode, I'm sitting down with Karen Millar, the team leader of the Karen Millar Real Estate team out of LePage Signature Realty in Toronto. You know, Karen's been licensed since 1984, and through sheer hard work, in 1988, she attained and became a member of the Chairman's Club at LePage, which is the top 1% in all of Canada for that company. One of her real claim to fame, as she puts it, is that LePage came up with a new designation for people with over 25 years of consistent membership in the Chairman's Club, and she's one of 3 people in all of Canada to have ever done that. So I'm super excited to bring her onto this podcast today. I look forward to all of you enjoying some of this information. It's timeless. She's been around for a very long time. She's seen a few market crashes and recessions, and the advice that she's going to give today is timeless. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy what we bring to you today.
Have you ever wondered why some people thrive in all areas of their life? Welcome to the Peak Results Academy podcast with your host, Rich Fournier. Each week, we interview industry experts who consistently dominate in the fields of health, business, and beyond. Our mission is to share their personal struggles and strategies so that you can create your own peak results. Welcome to the Academy.
Hello, everybody. Richard Fournier here from the Peak Results Academy podcast. And today I'm very excited to have someone who has achieved some extraordinary success in the world of real estate out of the Toronto market. She has the distinction of being one of only 3 people out of LePage in Canada to have attained the top 1% for over 30 years with LePage in Toronto. I know she doesn't like to talk about it too much, but I think it's important that you understand to achieve top 1% Chairman's Club for over 30 years consistently, down markets through up markets. I'm very excited to have you with us today. I really want to delve deep into who you are, what has enabled you to serve so many people throughout the Toronto market. So thank you so much for taking some time with us today.
My pleasure.
So Karen, you are currently in lockdown. We're in self-isolation in Toronto. Your office is based out of Don Mills area in Toronto. How are you enjoying the self-isolation quarantine time?
Well, it's kind of different. I've never ever experienced anything like this, but for the first time ever, I'm able to start and finish something like cleaning my kitchen cabinets and stuff which has never been a priority in my life. So there's a lot of achieving going on and education-wise too. So yes, it's scary, a little lonely, but everybody, it's a global pandemic, and so we all have to do it. We all doing it. So that makes it better when I know we're all doing it.
We're all doing it. You know, my hair's getting out of control. I trimmed the beard the other day. My wife's dying to cut my hair. Kids are at home for us. It's been a journey to educate and work with them through this period of time. You know, the funny thing is with real estate, we're always on the go. It's a very stressful business. You're constantly being pulled in so many different directions. And to have this time of self-reflection, it's a gift, and I'm trying to use it as a gift today. So it sounds like you are as well.
Perfect.
You know, the last 31 years in real estate, sounds like it's been quite a journey. I was wondering if you might share with us a little bit about the beginning of this journey.
Okay, so I started in 1984. Yeah. I was a mom with 3 small children. And a husband, of course. And the first day of real estate school, the teacher said that the average income was $7,000. I almost fell off my chair. I wasn't doing real estate because I didn't know what to do with myself. I did it because financially I needed to do it. So it was this was not a little pastime hobby. So I went home and I said to my husband, oh my God, I've made a terrible mistake. The average income is $7,000. We can't live off that. You know what he said to me? He said, oh, phew, thank God you're not average.
Love him. Married the right guy.
Yeah, but that set the pace.
Right.
If that's the average, who wants to be average? Nobody. We all, well, I guess there's average is not always bad, but if you're going into business, you can't afford to be average. So there we go.
That was it. That was the beginning.
That was the beginning. And then I did 3 years of door knocking, doing all this stuff, textbook. I think one of my achievements is I can learn. I'm a good learner. I don't reinvent the wheel. This is what they said you should do to make money, and it's door knocking and telephoning. And don't forget that was 36 years ago. So I did it. I did what I was told. And in the next 3 years, I entered into one of the top 1% in Canada with AE LePage then. AE. So I can read and I can be taught, and that's the secret.
So if you don't mind, I just want to talk about that beginning stage of door knocking. How many doors would you knock on a given day?
Well, what I did was the rejection when you door knock wasn't so bad then. I just want to make sure people understand that in 36 years ago, there wasn't that fear of opening the door like there is today. So I would say I would do a block of doors. And then depending on how much rejection there was, in the old days, we believed that you had to have 99 no's. Like, I don't know who came up with that idea. It was horrible. But that's how I thought. Okay, so I got one no. That's okay. No's, we were taught that a no, don't worry about it. Just keep going. So I kept going. And so I would do a block. So if a house got listed, anybody's house got listed. It wasn't mine, that's for sure. I would door knock the whole area and let people know.
That's fantastic. And then if you look out today, is door knocking a strategy that someone should consider?
Sure. Sure they should. And I know a lot of people who are very successful at doing that. We tend to, when we do get a listing, we door knock 20 and just talk to the people, invite them. Now this was last year. This is going to be the olden days. We invited them to open houses,
right?
Which now is going to be, now we're still going to do it, and we're going to ask them to go to virtual tours or we're still going to provide information.
When you look out at our industry, the real estate industry, for example, so very few people stay in the industry past 3 to 5 years. I think the turn rate is anywhere around 80 to 90% dropout rate. Why is the dropout rate so high?
I think I think people think it's easy, and they're going to make money right off the bat. They don't realize how difficult it is really to get discipline, and you don't make money overnight. It takes, I would say to anybody coming in, make sure that you've got 6 months to a year behind you, because it takes that long to work. It's hard work, and I don't think people realize that when they get, I know they don't. They don't realize that you have to give up family and friends, and there's a lot of sacrificing to really make it, So it's disillusional. And I know that when I started, my agents they were my mentors, she drove a Cadillac. And I thought, oh my God, that's why I chose real estate. I thought you got rich because she was driving a Cadillac. And so that's why when I found out that you only made $7,000, I realized I wasn't going to get a Cadillac. So I thought the girls made it, these were women, but I call them girls. They had made it look so easy because they were so professional. They'd been in the business already 20 years. And I would say if you can hang on to someone who's a mentor for you, you won't give up. But it's a tough business to start. It
is. Just from an income perspective and the costs associated with getting involved, and then to find a client, actually do something, and then wait for that to close. You could be 6 months to a year before you ever get paid on one client.
Yeah, I think that's why it's nice for, if you're coming into the business, maybe join up with a team, a successful team. You can learn so much, and I think it will, and you won't be so alone, you know. So I think that's, when people ask me, Karen, should I get into real estate? I say, of course, but join a team so that you have in-house experience and you get leads that helps you out a little bit.
That's right. You have a team, correct? Like, so
Yeah.
Now it's a family team. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's okay. So if you don't mind, love to talk about that. So I work with my wife.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure she loves me and hates me all on the same day, many days. You know, so you work with, so you have 3 children. Are they both in the business?
All three of the kids are in the business. My son-in-law, my husband, and my niece is also. And I do have another gal who is not family. She's just come aboard because when all the family want to go away somewhere, it's nice to have a backup. And she's a sort of a stay-at-home person, so we've got that. But I started off first with my husband, and he was a general contractor, and I was using him a lot to help me service my homes. And then it, you know, got to be a rule with TRED then that you had to be licensed. So he got his license. He doesn't sell, but he's invaluable as far as putting signs up, and he did all the $5 what we called $5 hour jobs. He did those, so that was so good for me because it allowed me to concentrate on other things. And then my kids came, and we have a great family. And we work well together. Although I do fire Ian, my husband, every Friday, but he comes back to work on Monday. So I'm sure you can, you know.
You know, and that's what I find, like Lindsay and I, like, whatever we do, whether it's, you know, podcast or whatever we're doing, we find that it encroaches on our family time so much. And we have 3 girls, and that's the challenge that we have, is the separation of business and family time. And we're not good at it. We're getting better, but we're not good at it. I think it either drives you closer together or it will drive you apart, this type of business.
I would say respect, just respect, but you can't give up those 3 little girls. I'll tell you, they should be a priority. So I think I was lucky. Ian didn't join. Ian was a stay-at-home dad before it was very popular, and so that helped me a lot. That I could work 8 hours a day, but Ian was there with the kids. So that's probably where I had it better than you. Is that you and your wife are working full tilt. Ian gradually came into the business, so that made it a lot easier.
Yeah, you know, I think that, I mean, just the longevity that you've had in this business is such a rare, I mean, to be honest with you, you're in rare air. I mean, there's very few people have been in this business for 30 plus years. And is there something that's lacking with people that enter the business today? Are they lacking something that is not enabling them to stay in the business? Is there? I'm just trying to understand. And
I don't know. I really think that people have the wrong idea about real estate. They really do come in thinking it's going to be easy, and they have to understand it isn't easy. But I've seen many different personalities be very successful at this business. You know, I've seen quiet people who hardly open their mouth, very successful. I've seen people who are slippery, very successful. I think you have to be service orientated. You really have to want to help people. And then if you really want to help people, you're not doing it for yourself. I think that may help, but some of them come in with a little bit of an entitlement issue, and real estate just doesn't work. We're way too competitive. If people think that you're not working for them, you're not gonna be hired. So I don't know. I'm very over the last 30 years, I've seen many people make it that I thought, oh, with that, I don't think they're gonna, and they do it. But hard work, I think, and the love of people. I really think that's good. You got to like working with people.
I'm always trying to dig in deep to find out what is that common denominator. What is the magic elixir? What is that thing? Of a gentleman who runs the brokerage said, he goes, you can't teach it. It's either you got it or you don't. And so we're kind of odds with that. And I'm always trying to figure out what it is. So people say hard work. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? Does that mean I talk to lots of people every single day? Is there a certain number of people that you talk to every single day? There's hard work. And sometimes I try to define what does hard work mean for some people.
I think it means doing the job, like doing the job. So you go into the office. I'm sure you've read all about this. People go in, they spend 8 hours in the office, but actually they didn't pick up the phone once. Right. They talked to everybody. They didn't really do anything. So I would say my advice to people is do a journal and put down in your journal exactly what you did to produce business. What did you do today to produce business? And that's very interesting. A lot of them do nothing. So.
I found that when I talk to people, that's when that's when business happens. We generate a lot of contacts online, and the automation is there, and listings go out to them, but unless I pick up that phone, and even texting, I can text people and we have conversations, that doesn't mean anything. No. It's a phone call.
And isn't that right from day one? That's what they said, day one.
And everything we do is technology. We moved to an area we didn't know anyone, so we entered the market, and if it wasn't for the online world, there's no way we could have played in that space. We had 3 kids. We didn't know anyone in the market, but it was the phone call on top of everything else we did. That was the magic. And if we didn't do the phone call, forget it. It was over.
Yeah. Right. That's all. But you have to understand that a lot of people coming into the business, they have a sphere of influence, but that dries up. You can't phone the same person 10 times a year. It just doesn't work. You become annoying. So you have to, it's a gradual process, I think, and you have to think outside the box. You have to go outside that box to meet people and to do things for people. And when you have children, if you participate in their sports, you get to meet people on their team. You get to meet, as you're lining up to put the kids into school, you meet other parents. There's huge area that young people can certainly make contacts, but the phone call is the most important. And just quite frankly, it's the thing I least like doing. So I have a daughter who's like my boss, who puts down on my desk, make these calls. And so I better do them, or else I'm going to get hell from her. So just so people know, it's the phone call that means the most, and it's the thing I least like doing, because I'm always worried that I'm interrupting. I feel like it's a little bit of phony, because they don't believe I'm calling them just to say hello. I'm calling them for business. So I feel I'm a middle class, sort of raised middle class. You don't ask for things. And it's not that I ask, but I always feel they think I'm going to ask. Now, with COVID-19, is I can phone anybody. I love calling. I'm not interrupting. I know they're going to love to hear from me, and they know I'm not asking for business. Right. They really sincerely believe. So this is an opportunity for realtors to get on the phone. There have no excuses.
When we look at picking up the phone, so if you don't mind me going there for a second,
Yeah.
I genuinely believe you. Like, you really genuinely want to serve people. There's no way you could be in this business this long and not want to serve people, because it's super painful some days. Like, so you must want to serve people. I wonder why we worry so much about what people think about us. And is that one of the reasons why people don't make it in the business? Because we do care, or we worry what other people think about what we do or in how we do it.
For sure. It's very important for me that I think it's my upbringing that, if you're going to pay me for something, then I'm going to do the best job possible. And then if you compliment me, I feel, if you say to me, "Oh, Karen, thank you so much. It was a great experience," I feel amazing. Okay, I feel amazing, and then I get on with it. But if you say something to me like, "Oh, well, I would expect a little more from you, Karen," or something like that, I'll carry that for a year. I'm motivated by the fear of not doing what I said I was going to do.
Right. I'm worried about going into Zehrs or a grocery store in my neighborhood and seeing somebody I did business with, and they don't like me, and I'm with my kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're motivated by, I think, successful accomplishments, and and when we get accolades, we know that's how we know we've done what we were supposed to do. So I think it's kind of fun to accomplish that type of thing today, to make people happy with your services. I think that's pretty good.
Do you set out every single year the idea to do a certain amount of
business,
or is that's just a byproduct of you doing what you do every single day? You don't even.
No, always. We're very motivated by goals.
Okay.
I think goals. So if you said to me, two things that make a successful person in any way is goals and discipline. You've got to set goals so you know where you're going, and then if you set down a discipline, this is what you're going to do every day, this is how you're going to do it, and those two go hand in hand. And I think you find if you can do those two, you're going to do all right.
Yeah, one of my coaches says to me, he goes, discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and then follow through on the command.
Okay, I love that. Yeah.
Right?
I love it. But I, again, over all these years working with people, there was a gentleman in my office when I first started. He was very successful. He was one of Canada's top realtors, and he came in every day. This is when we all sat in a bullpen, right? We didn't have private offices. I was so lucky for that, because I got to hear ordinary people who absolutely excelled in this business, but they were ordinary and they spoke ordinary. They weren't highly articulate or educated, and he was one of the top 10 in Canada. But you know what he did every day? The same thing. He came into the office. This is when you had MLS sheets, and he studied them all, and he called his people. And I heard him do this every single day. He called his people, and I listened to him, and I thought, whoa, if he can do that, I can do that. Sometimes he couldn't even remember who he called, but he called. So, yeah, discipline.
Now, when you look at being consistent on a daily basis over 30 years, what drives you still today, Karen? Like, what is that thing that keeps you going every day?
Oh, first, the love. I do really enjoy my job, and because I work with my children and I work with my family, it's fun. It's not stressful. It's fun. I go into work. We all have jobs to do. We all know what our jobs are. We start off with a little meeting. We know what I have to do. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun too. It's not all hard driven. And again, I think sometimes when you make your goals like a pressure cooker, that takes you down. It takes you down. Goals are just there to aim. Like I use it for an aiming. I don't really care if I get there or not. I just want to work towards it. But I do have a lot of fun with real estate.
That's a common denominator that I'm experiencing, Karen. And if I don't mind sharing this with you, that people that I have communicated with who are sitting at that top 100, top 10 number, they actually like what they do.
Yeah. No,
there's something inside that they actually like being in real estate and serving.
Yeah, but Richard, not every day is wonderful and lovely and great. There are some terrible days where you think, oh my God, how many more things can go wrong and things. It's not like just one great big laugh in. So I want people to know that. But overall, aren't we lucky that we are in charge of our own jobs, our own career? We can make or break. We are responsible for it. No boss. Don't really have a boss. You're your boss. And I think that is a blessing. So yes, you have bad days, but overall, you should enjoy what you do, else you shouldn't be doing it. Right.
You went through 89, that recession, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
I didn't, I'm 46. I didn't have the experience of going through that process. And that was an external event, NAFTA, interest rates at extreme levels. This is different. Mm-hmm. And what advice can you give people today to get through this?
Well, again, I think is don't drop the ball. This is not a marketing crisis, or a housing crisis. This is a health crisis. So you come first, be careful, be safe. But now's a time where you can, I think, get ready. Because I do believe that when this is over, we will be extremely busy. And I think this is an opportunity for everyone to learn so much more. I'm just thinking, I'm going to be 70 this year, and I have learned all about Zooming. Do you think I could have got in here 6 weeks ago? I'm sorry. No, I couldn't have. I've spoken to all my family in Europe, Zoom. I got there's a Brownie Box company that you bought a camera, 360 camera, which we're all learning about the virtual tour, virtual reality, virtual tours, 360. These were all people I hired. I knew there were companies out there. Guess what? Now I can do it.
Right now you're going.
Right. Yeah. So now I'm learning how to do all this. And understand it better. And so, because that might be the future, technology might be. See, in my day, I had it better off, actually, because the public had no information. They could only rely on me. Think about that. Mm-hmm. So when I made the phone call or door knocked, I had information that they couldn't get. Now today, everybody can get basically the same information as me. I'm more advertising what I have. I'm really not telling people as much. So I think now we're going to go into a much higher level of technology. It's still going to come down to personal service and your attitude, but technology is going to play even a bigger. So over the 36 years that I've been doing this, I think you have to evolve. You're always evolving into something. You can't be the same person you were even 5 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. The information age is. What I do find is that the interpretation of the data is super important.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we still have a lot of value to bring is the interpretation of the data. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And the information that's delivered to the consumer today is very skewed depending on the provider. And I think we have a real opportunity today to serve our clients in such a way to give them the truth. And that means we have to understand the numbers as well. So we're fed a lot of numbers, but then we have to dig deeper into those numbers to really understand what's true, what's not true. I want to ask a hard question. It just popped in my mind.
Okay.
And so job losses. You know, everyone says the housing market's going to do really well after this. I'm having a tough time with that in my own mind, because the amount of people that are losing their jobs and not going to be able to qualify for a mortgage. Is it going to be as robust as we're thinking, or will this be more of a drawn out U-style recovery? If this goes on for a few more months, those jobs aren't coming back.
Yeah, I worry about that too.
I just want to, like, this is not scripted. I know
but that's, no one has a crystal ball. Yeah. And I think that if people are losing their jobs and they have to sell their home, let's say, for instance, they have to sell their home. You know, we came into this year at absolute full speed. Ridiculous. The prices had gone up over 10% since this time last year. You know, our prices are still up by 3% from this year to year. Yeah. Okay, so if you lose your job, and there's always been people who lose their jobs. Like, talk about 89, 90, holy jumping. I mean, people, talk to Calgary and see how many people had to walk away from their mortgages and stuff like that. But I think that because the banks have mortgaged this, the bank, the government, everyone's looking after people. They're going to, I don't know that people are going to be really that. They're going to struggle. If they have to sell their home, they're going to get a big buck for their home. I can see rentals might go up a little more because of that. But I think because the banks are going to be very sympathetic to people who've lost their homes, they're going to delay their mortgages, and they're doing that now. It's going to be very interesting to see. Like, I hope, I think there'll be an adjustment, yes. But I think our housing is going to be high still. I think our prices are going to be high. I don't think there's enough inventory. So I don't know. Well, it's very interesting to see what's going to happen.
You know, it's funny. I watch a team out in Calgary. I'm not going to mention them today, but I've been watching them, and probably one of the most challenging environments in Canada was probably that market.
Yeah.
And they're number one and number two in Canada for a certain company, and just extreme growth. And the lesson that I took from that is this: if there's a will, there's a way. You must be committed to being outstanding in whatever you do every single day, and really have something that you focus on, and having true belief in service and serving your clients to the best of your ability. And through that process, if you believe that, it'll work out for you.
Yeah. We're going to have to wait and see how this all goes, how the economy is really going to affect people. And but I've never seen a government step in like our government has stepped in to help people out. Like, I know you can apply for the emergency insurance, and then 48 hours you've got it. I mean, this helps a lot. So there's not going to be drop dead overnight. If this lasts another 6 months, I can see where there's going to be some issues. But overall, I hope that it'll come out. So what if they have to sell? Because let's say you've lost your job and you have to sell, and you can rent. You don't have to buy again, right? You can just. I'm not even going to think about that.
Yeah,
I'm going to go on like every day.
Every day.
Because I can't control that.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. You cannot control that. All you can control is who you are. And I think that's the messaging that I want to bring to our audience, is that you've been through a crisis before. I'd say at least 80% of agents out there today and 80% of business owners have not been through a crisis.
Yeah. So yeah, that is going to be. There's been three. I think that I've gone through three different sort of ups and downs, but you just work it, and you help people out, and that's it. And for a lot of people, it is just showing them the right direction, and that helps.
If you were to start today, Karen, what would you do differently in your real estate business? What kind of advice would you give someone?
Well, I would mentioned before, I think if I was going in, I would align myself with and as you know, I only have family. I'm not looking to I don't want any team members. I'm happy with my little family. But I would really go to the broker and sit down with the broker and ask the broker, who's one of the top realtor teams, and because I think the training is very important in the beginning. So if you can align yourself with a good agent, a good brokerage, I'm with LePage Signature, which many years ago was a boutique called Slidham, and it's a real estate family. And Chris and Jeff Slidham, who are the brokers where I am, do you know they spend more time in training, and their attitude is, what can I do to make your job easier? That's a very important way to think. So if you're going to be hired, or if you want to be a new agent, you want to go to work, see the attitude. I would say to the person I was going to work for, what are you going to do to make me the best I can be? And not use me just to fill in the gaps when there's a lousy open house to do or something like that, although something is better than nothing. That's what I would do. I'd line myself with a top broker and a top team.
Do you do a lot of reading and coaching yourself? Do you have someone in your life that helps guide your business?
I did have in the beginning. I had the Rich Robbins. You riches are pretty good, and
long time, great reputation, 100%.
Yeah, they. So I was coached maybe 10, 15 years ago for a couple of years, and that really was good. I would definitely. It's just coaching when you first start off is not affordable. It really isn't. But if you align yourself with a good team, maybe your team person can. What we do is I'm happy to pay. If I would pay for my team members to go to courses and to be coached, there's nothing better. I am not a good manager, or I'm not really a good coach either.
There's something you said about naturally being able to do something, and then there's the transference of that knowledge and education to someone is really difficult to do.
I'm all for coaching. I want to tell you, coaching to me is so valuable that I really think that everybody should have some kind of coach that you're responsible for, you're accountable to. See, I don't want anyone to be accountable to me, because I feel bad if they don't make it or they don't do it, or the worst thing we have had administrators, I can't even fire them. Like I have to, my girls have to hire and fire. I can't even do that. So I don't want to coach. If anybody in my office needs to come and talk to me, of course I'm going to talk to them. But if I had to talk to them every week or something like that, I would kill myself. I couldn't do it. But the value in coaching, yeah, that's very good.
When you look at and I want to get into this a little bit, because there's the granular part of the real estate business. Where do you meet all your new people, Karen?
Well, at this stage, a lot of it is referrals.
Yeah.
So because, but I'm very active in our community too.
Okay.
I do a lot of different things in our community, and so I meet people through that as well. And I do a lot of seminars. That's a nice place to meet people. Do seminars that have nothing to do with you, like have a lawyer and a mortgage broker and things like that. I have the SRES designation, so I'm a seniors specialist, and I love that. So 55 and up, huge specialization there. So I meet a lot of people through that as well. So take courses, do seminars, door knock. That's where you meet them.
Right, door knocking. That's definitely has not my forte. It's not fast enough.
Yeah, no, it's really tough. I think it's tougher for guys too, because you come to the door, it's terrifying. But there is a fellow in our office that's made a big success out of door knocking.
Yeah, I'm not too tall, so I'm not too intimidating, so that's helpful.
That's a bit there. You've got a good benefit.
I really appreciate that you took the time. That's one of the benefits of COVID. I can reach someone like you, because if this wasn't here, I would not reach someone like you. And I appreciate you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm always happy to share. Always happy to share.
Because once you give your time, you can't get it back again. And our industry there's just so much information coming at us. And to have someone who has done it, and still doing it over a 30-year period of time, that's super important to understand the psychology behind someone like yourself. And I think it gives back. And if people who are listening today love what you do, don't focus on the money. Focus on serving people.
Yeah.
That's the message I'm getting from you. And that's the message I get from a lot of top producers. Focus on the consumer. Have a servant's attitude.
Yeah.
Be committed to those clients, and it'll work out.
Perfect.
Thank you for spending some time with me today. You're absolutely lovely.
Pleasure.
I can't wait to meet you in person.
I hope that happens.
It will.
Okay, when things get better.
For sure they will. Listen, thank you very much. Stay safe. Enjoy your family, and I'll definitely be in touch very, very soon. Oh, one more thing. Where can people reach you?
Oh, they can reach me on my email, I guess, is the best. Karen@KarenMillar.com. Miller with an AR. That's the only catch. Yeah, very happy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Love those little girls of yours.
I will for sure. I'm going to see them this afternoon.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you like what you've heard and you're interested in seeing if you are fit to work with Peak Results Academy, here's what I want you to do next. Head over to peakresultsacademy.com/call. That's peakresultsacademy.com/call and book an appointment to speak with our team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 45 minutes and get you crystal clear on 3 things. Number 1, what do you really want out of life and your business? Number 2, what is not working for you today? And number 3, the exact strategy you should be using to create massive change in these areas. Remember, changing your life and creating massive results does not happen by itself. You need expert guidance to make it happen. We're helping clients all over the world create peak results in their health, in their businesses, and in their personal lives. To see if we can help you do the same, head over to peakresultsacademy.com/call. We'll chat soon.